Getting ready to make the jamb extension for an older window that we repurposed into the new addition, so it matches my son's the bedroom's existing window. This is a match to it. They were originally vinyl replacements from back 15 years ago, so I'm just kept the same one so that way there's continuity there. But as I am getting ready to do the jamb extension, apparently I put the window in. It's not exactly plumb, not quite sure, but what I'm doing is I'm having to taper cut the left and the right jamb extensions. And so with that, I found that, wow, hey, track saw. That's an excellent use for that track saw to get that jamb extension. So this is the 59-inch track. And I have, oh, I don't know, it's like 3 9/16 down to 3 5/8, no, excuse me, 3 3/6, whatever the measurement was, 3 3/16, 3 5/16. It was significant. I was very surprised. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there, whether it was in the framing or the window itself. But track saw, already cut one, and it worked perfectly. I'm about ready to cut the other, but I thought, hey, why not just really plug the track saw? It doesn't have to be that color, but plugging the track saw, it's just a phenomenal tool. Again, when it's the tool for the job when it's for the particular job, and there's like no other tool. I could have tried to score the line or draw the line, and I could have ran it through the table saw. I've done that hundreds of times, let's call it hundreds of times, and have had pretty good success with it. Once you get it running straight along your angle or along your line, it doesn't matter the way the piece goes through. If you're very careful, if you're very slow, almost like a pool cue when you're playing pool, and you just feed it through, it's okay. Sometimes not so perfect, but I've had pretty good luck with that. But wow, wow. Okay, so the fight goes on for the trimming of the annex. Well, old window repurposed. Even though it's a vinyl replacement, it matches the other one in the same room, so it makes sense. But the framing and everything else, because it was a vinyl replacement, the framing all shrank, and so the top pieces actually were a little bit too tall, so I had to cut those down. No problem there. They're now installed, and then the top rail, which should look like this top rail over here. You can see with the rosette and then the overlay. Basically, it's just casing with a, in this case, kind of a fancy chair rail. So here's that top rail. I have taken that the top rail, and I've taken the fancy chair rail off of it and the rosette. And then this will get trimmed down to size. The rosette will get reinstalled, and then I can cut the chair rail overlay to fit. So, interesting, I'm tearing apart things I did 15 years ago. I guess, sign I've been in the house long enough. Okay, well, the update will go on. Update. Of course, this was cased in earlier today, all the way down through, and I think the last video was working on the window. So now the window, including the apron, and this detail, because we have tall baseboards and, of course, an apron, and that outlet is probably for like air conditioning, I believe is why I put it in. So I had to build that out as far as just made a little box, pulled that out, and was able to include the outlet. And so it doesn't look necessarily out of place or recessed or anything notched in it. But I was able to use almost all of the old lumber, modified just a little bit from the existing window. And so all the way up to the details up there with the rosettes. I love all the shadows, so I'm a big fan of stacks of, layers and stacks of trim, probably fairly obvious. But anyway, so there you go. So that's the existing old window rotated around and repurposed. And then you can see on this side of the annex, I've got this already framed up. We're going to get crown all the way in through, and the crown will match as nearly as I can do it. This detail in here, I don't know why we did the boxes. I think I was just having a good time and hadn't done boxes in a long time, and so there we go. So we made this real decorative. With that, I'm able to go all the way around here. So I have a piece of lattice that will back, then I have a piece of, basically it's a colonial window stop that'll layer on top of that, then I have a cap that'll layer on top of that. So I have to go around this room 3 more times. And I can't do that piece, nor the piece around back, because I need the door casing in and the doors. And I won't have those for another month or so. So anyway, all the way around here, I was able to do that. And my base will actually fit into that slot there that you see, rotating around. And likewise, it'll fit into that slot as well, of which I did that right there as well. Okay, so I'm going to call it for today, I think, because I've got a lot of cleanup yet. Going to get crown in here, of course, no crown or anything like that. No extra details in the closet, except for down in here it will get the stacked trim. There's no reason not to. I've got the extra trim, so I'll go ahead and do that as a detail, but we're not going to crown. So that is what I got done today, and I've got to clean up and then I've got to eat, and it's getting pretty late, and I'll hit it again tomorrow. Well, calling it a day. It's pretty dark, moon's up, and I haven't eaten yet, and my wife is waiting on me to eat, so call it a day, and really happy with the trim that I got installed. It was a really late start after collecting materials, and we had several errands in the morning, so it was really nice then to finally get set up, and then realized I didn't have the plinth blocks, so I had to go all the way back to the Lowe's, which is another 15 minutes down, 15 back, and a half hour while you're there. So with all of that, you know, it really did chew into the late morning, early afternoon before I was really cutting anything. So happy with the progress. Cleaning up, of course. Just pulled the miter box around and getting ready to load that. Already have my table saw. There it is. Table saw loaded up. Every night clean up. Of course, I can't afford to leave it out here anyway. You know, it's just, I don't think anything would disappear, but I'm not that naive either to realize that it could disappear. This won't be completely organized because I'm going to haul it right back out tomorrow morning, getting a real early start on this so I can run all the trim details. So I'll put everything back in a rudimentary way, but it's going to come right back out in less than so many hours. But love the organization. Thank you, Ron. You know, it's just thank you people. All right, hey, you all take care, and catch you tomorrow.